Hi, this is Monica from Unique Designs by Monica, and today we are creating a strawberry. Um, this might be a very quick SVG to do, and it's super simple. Now, just a little heads up, not every strawberry is made alike. So my strawberry might be a slightly different from the original. So let's get started. I'm going to set this guy aside right over here. Now we're going to start with a circle, or should I say an ellipse, using the ellipse tool, and we're just going to make this. It doesn't really matter what size you do. I mean, you're going to be able to resize it anyway. So I'm just going to grab this red that's already on this cherry right here, or not cherry, yeah, strawberry. Now, let's get a little closer here. I'm going to double click, and by doing so, you see this little dot right here? They're on all four corners of the circle. So all I'm going to do, let me just move back. I'm going to bring it down. Now by doing so, it starts looking more like an egg, almost like a guinea egg, if you will. Not a fully, you know, egg shape, but a little smaller. Now, we're going to duplicate this. And behind, I'm going to make this white. Now, I'm going to say now a lot today. I'm going to put this to the center and align it perfectly, like so. We're going to work on our seeds on our strawberry. And by doing that, we're going to take the same image, the same SVG, duplicate it, and we're going to make it nice and tiny. Now, you could use this as a seed, but I want this to be a little bit more seed-like. So I'm going to squish it in just a little bit, and then tuck it in just a little bit more. And I'm going to make this yellow. And I'll tell you why. You're going to eat through this or punch a hole through this red shape here, kind of like a cookie cutter. You don't have to. In fact, you don't really need this white backing. But if you are doing vinyl, or if you're making a card and you need cardstock, it's easier to punch a hole at the top and then have the bottom peek through, rather than to mess with a whole bunch of little pieces that might go awry. So let's put this back to the center, just like so. And what I'm going to do is just place it randomly. I'm going to put this right here, but I'm going to follow this line right here, this curvature. And I'm not going to do a lot of seeds. In fact, I'm going to spread these out just a little bit. Now you can make these as close or as far as you want. This is your strawberry. And I'm going to tilt it ever so often, just following this line. Okay, I'm going to go right back to the top, and I'm going to do the same thing following this line right here. That looks pretty good. Okay. Now I'm going to copy this and flip this over, following the same line, just like that. Now all I'm going to do is just fill in this the inside. Since this is following this line, I'm going to put this to the center, and then I'm just going to tilt it like that a little more, and one more time. And I'm going to copy, flip horizontally, and then just going to go right up. Let's see, right there and right there. Now, as you can see, it looks a little different here than it is here. I spent a lot of time, trying to disperse this as much as possible. For the tutorial, you can take your time. Now, I'm going to select only the yellow. And I'm going to group it so you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to select the red and the seeds. And then I'm going to go over here to my modified panel and subtract. Now you're thinking, that didn't do anything. Well, It's like subtract is basically like a hole puncher. It just punches everything right through, just like that. Now I don't need this, and I have my strawberry. Now I'm looking at it. It's like, yeah, it's good. Here, let me just make it a little bit more plump, like that. Bring it down just a little bit. All right, we're gonna work on our leaves here. And I did the same thing. I just grabbed myself an lip tool, make this green so you can see what I'm doing. Let's get a little closer to it. Bring it a little closer. Okay. All right. Double click, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to elongate it a little. All right. And I believe I actually did an indent. Yes, I did. So I'm going to put this to the side. And in this little area right here, I'm going to double click, and I'm going to just put a point here and a point here. And by doing so, I can just bring this down just a little bit. And all I'm doing is creating the leaves. All right, there you go. There's my first leaf. I'm gonna elongate it. You know what? I'm gonna make this, I want this to be a little bit more smooth. So I'm gonna simplify it. And I'm going to remove this line right here. I'm going to delete it. There we go. Much better. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Now I'm going to bring it over. Let's make this a little bit more bigger. And all I'm going to do is just duplicate it and then pivot it a little. Duplicate it, and then I'm going to flip it horizontally and pivot one more time. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, now I'm just going to do the stem right here, and all I did was I just grabbed a rectangle tool, and you're like, that's a little too straight. Yes, it is. So what I did is, let's change this to the same color. What I did is I double clicked it and I elongated one end and the other. This looks a little too thick for my taste, so I'm going to just make it a little smaller, and there we go. Now, all we are going to do is select all the green areas and weld. There we go. Now you can spend a ton of time trying to make this as good as you want it to. As you can see, even now I'm looking at him like I can probably pinch this, and there you go. It's all up to you. Take your time with this SVG. Make it the way you want it to look. Bend the leaves to where you want it to be. And there you go. You got yourself a strawberry. Now, as you can see, this is all covered in red lines, and that I won't stand for that. I'm going to go over to my line style and just remove it. There we go. Have fun with it. Thank you so much for stopping on by. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you very much, and have a good day.